OK. Bonne soirée à tous et à tous. Merci d'être venus. Hi again. My name is Jenna. Pleasure to be here speaking in front of all of you tonight. Thank you so much, Mel and Lucas, for inviting me to be a part of your special day. Very honored. So first, I'll just give a little explanation as to how I know Mel and Lucas, because you're probably wondering who the heck I am. And then we'll pass off and we'll start with our speeches. But first, I met Mel at the age of 5 at a little place very special to us called Red Pine Camp. Not a cult, not a cult. It's a little culty, but it's a camp. We were extremely fortunate to have been on staff together at 16, where we became much closer, and then we got to lead a cabin together the summer after, and we really formed those bonds in those teenage years. So I'm very thankful for those years. I'll need my notes now. That's as far as I got memorized. I'm extremely thankful for my friendship with Mel, because as anyone can tell you, she is one of the most supportive and loyal friends. She sees you for who you are and sees the good in everyone. For me, she believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. And I'm so thankful for that. She's also one of the funniest people I know and can make you laugh with her extreme over-exaggerations, 37 penguins and whatnot. Everything is always 37 or 46. And I quickly realized that Lucas was very similar. When I first met Lucas at camp, I had organized a baby shower for 3 of my friends visiting who they had never met before, and very pregnant friends. They were very pregnant. This is very important to know. And I invited Mel and Lucas to come to this baby shower, expecting that they wouldn't come because they've never met these women before, but I extended the offer to be nice. And what I loved was that Lucas was right in the conversation with these women he'd never met, saying things like, "What did she say to you?" And "Megan, you don't deserve to be treated that way." It doesn't take long into meeting Lucas that you can tell he's friendly, kind, and caring. He's a great listener and will remember what you say and ask you about it the next time he sees you. He's very thoughtful. Well, he's giving me a face, but I disagree. I think you are. And Lucas, you are a very lucky man to have met and to be married to one of my best friends, Mel. And Mel, just the same, you are just as lucky to have met Lucas. And without further ado, I'd like to call up the best man and the brother of the groom, Ollie.
So I once heard that a best man speech should be no longer than the amount of time the groom lasts in bed. So with that being said, thanks for coming out, and cheers to Luke's. I'm just kidding. At least I hope so. For Mel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Luke's younger brother. Some of you may be wondering how I was told I can't swear. How the beep are those 2 guys related? Let me tell you my theory. So my theory is when Lucas was born, he picked the hockey and golf skills, the hair, the good looks. He left me with the weight and 10 toes. Thanks, bud. All kidding aside, I've been fortunate enough to call my brother my best friend and one of my idols. From hanging out on a weekly basis, playing sports together, and like every best friend, our timely fights. One of which, our 2019 family Christmas vacation to Punta Cana, which my dad summarizes as what could have gone down as one of the best WWE matches ever. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to tell you guys what happened, but my mom absolutely loves telling the story. So you guys can just ask her and she'll be thrilled to tell you. It was not long before that exact trip that Lucas had met Mel on some app called Grindr or something. I don't really know. I'm not too familiar with the apps. But during our trip, he had told me a little bit about her, nothing too into detail. And I finally got to meet her a few weeks after we got back, and I knew she was the one. Sunday night dinners are a tradition at our house, and Mel would laugh at my jokes and my stories, while my dad and Lucas would call me an idiot. My mom had no idea what I was saying because she doesn't speak English. Mel and Lucas share a lot of the same qualities. They're both kind, compassionate, caring, and athletic. However, Mel is also smart, organized, hardworking. Everyone knows you do nothing at work. And her ability to take an ice is like no other. But most importantly, Mel, But most importantly, Mel, you make my brother happy in a way that I never could. Mel, you have a great husband in Lucas, but Lucas, you have an even greater wife in Mel. Cheers to both of you.
Thanks, Ollie. And now I'd like to call up the sister and maid of honor, Megan.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all settling in and enjoying a good time. Thanks so much for being here. I know many of you traveled from far and wide. Looking at you, Karen Piper, wherever you are. Thanks for making the trip. Just really happy to be here celebrating with everybody. I'd also selfishly like to thank Mel and Lucas for deciding to get married all over again so that I could have a shot at redemption after my first maid of honor speech, which was carefully crafted in a bathroom stall at the Bad Alibi around 1 a.m. the night of their first wedding after a couple of tequilas. So short and sweet is great, but there's a lot more to say about these two. So where to begin? Growing up as Mel's younger sister, I had a lot to look up to. Mel carved out a seemingly perfect path through life, set out for me to follow, full of incredible talents and accomplishments, ranging from her athleticism, her musical talent, and of course, incredible academics. Now, thanks to the tenured staff of Elmdale, Fisher Park, and Nepean High School, every year I started school with one of Mel's old teachers, knowing just how high the expectations were going to be of me as I entered the room for that subject or grade, and just how many lunch hours I should be spending in the math room as a result. As high school rolled around, I would devote much of my spare time participating in sports that I had no idea even existed, in pursuit of my athletic N that Mel had, of course, acquired just a couple years earlier. But jokes aside, you've been a constant source of inspiration for me in the way that you give 110% to absolutely everything that you do, no exceptions. Now, despite my best efforts to follow said path through life, there were some things that Mel would inevitably excel at far beyond anything I would ever be capable of, least of which was her musical talent. Mel was a prefect in her choir. She won Fisher Park Idol in middle school. She held the esteemed roles of Tommy in the middle school production of Tommy, and the Big Bad Wolf in the Trial of the Big Bad Wolf. When I rolled through the school musical circuit, I think the teachers were struggling with a little bit of lunch bag letdown, creating makeshift roles for me, including the announcement girl in High School Musical. Never heard of that role. And the second and forgetful fairy godmother in Cinderella. Also never heard of that one. But despite Mel's talent, she always stayed grounded. And I will always appreciate her stepping it down a couple of notches to join me in our infamous Sum 41 lip sync battles, performed for our parents on the stage during the après-ski at the Calabogie Cottage. There's then, of course, Mel's rugby career. Sorry, there's a lot of flies up here. One key element of Mel's path through life that I just chose to steer right clear of, and one that was and still is no exception to her determination and dedication. While playing for Queens, I was always so proud watching my older sister score tries. Sweet. While I paced the perimeter of the field with my mom, who of course couldn't sit still. But now in its 15th or 16th, not quite sure, consecutive year, Mel's rugby career has seen the incredible highs of Team Ontario and varsity nationals, and the memorable lows of black eyes, broken ankles, and countless nights in the Kingston General Hospital. When I started studying at Queen's, I still remember how cool I thought it was to have my older sister as a starting player on the Queen's varsity rugby team, until the famous ankle break that brought my mom to campus for the first 2 weeks of my undergraduate career. But Mel, your rugby legacy continues through your ongoing commitment to mentorship and coaching through Carleton and the Ottawa Irish. And I know I speak for an entire community when I say that your athletes are so lucky to have you. Above all else, I feel incredibly fortunate and grateful to have a sister by you. Wow. The most important line. To have had a sister like you by my side for the last 27 years. We've made incredible memories that will last a lifetime. We've traveled the world together and made it home in one. We have also aced beginner French exams on St. Patrick's Day after a morning on Aberdeen Street. And we have laughed hard enough to almost give me a six-pack, you a light ab workout. Anyway, promise to never take any of that for granted. Now, when I heard there was a new fellow named Lucas on the scene, I focused on keeping an open mind and looked forward to meeting him at an upcoming brunch outing with our entire family. Despite my best efforts, it didn't take me long until after walking through the door of the restaurant until I noticed his playoff mullet carefully tucked under a backwards baseball cap, and unfortunately began to draw comparisons to the hockey bros that I grew up attending high school with. Needless to say, I was a little disappointed. But here's where I tell you that I guess they raise them differently in Orleans, because I could not have been a worse judge of character in that moment. Lucas, you're one of the kindest, most hilarious, and genuine humans that I've ever met. Merlot agrees. And the love and care that you have for my sister makes my heart absolutely explode. It's really hard to put into words how much our family enjoys having you around, but I know my parents are going to try really hard in a few minutes. So after that initial brunch, my first real encounter with Mel and Lucas as a couple was on a pre-pandemic visit to Toronto, when I forced them to attend a very overpriced Saturday morning Barry's boot camp with me. And at the time, I didn't think much of it. But now, knowing how much Lucas absolutely hates intense workouts, I know how much he was trying really hard. As soon as we headed to brunch and he joined my sister and I in ordering bottomless extra spicy Caesars, I knew he was going to be a stellar guy to have around. As COVID hit in the early months of their relationship, it was clear that these two could conquer it all, not only adjusting to living together, but also adopting me as a part-time roommate and constant third wheel. Promise I'm almost done. Since then, our adventures have only gotten better, ranging from Lion King carpool karaoke in Naples to learning firsthand about tides on the beach in Australia and a whole lot of bus rides in between. Lucas, you're always there for me when I am looking for a good time on a Friday night, when I need someone to decipher my complex property tax bill, and most importantly for backup, when Mel inevitably bends the rules to win every card game or board game during our family game nights. I also really appreciate when our mutual understanding of when to find each other hiding in one of your 3 garages when we just need a break from one of Mel's intimate 30 friend gatherings. To both of you, you two are living proof that opposites attract. But more importantly, you support each other's values and ambitions in the best way possible, and your collective sense of humor brings so much levity and joy to everyone around you. You've individually built incredibly fulfilling lives, and together your future is shining even brighter. I can't wait to see what this next chapter brings, and I'm so grateful to be along for the ride. So join me in raising a glass to Mr. and Mrs. Enjoy.
I hope everyone is enjoying their meal. Hopefully you've received your meal and that you're enjoying it so far or have already enjoyed it. I'd now like to call up the parents of the groom, Lorraine and Ronnie, for their speech.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ron. This is my wife, Lorraine, and we are the parents of Lucas. Louder, 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 louder. I would like to thank everyone for coming out for this wonderful evening. I'd like to specifically say that the grooms and the bridesmaids were beautiful tonight. You guys were sort of handsome. Now, I'd like to say that my son, Lucas, he's handsome, he's kind, he's a great golfer, he's a great hockey player. He has a big, Lucas, I can't read. Lucas, I can't keep reading what you wrote, okay? Seriously, okay? And for all you people, he has a big parking lot with a golf simulator in it, okay? Get your minds out of the gutter. Now, I'd like to talk about how I think I knew Mel was the one. We were in the Dominican Republic, the famous WWF fight. And almost every day, if not every day, and at least 5 or 6 times a day, Lucas was texting Mel, who was in Florida. So we knew that was the one that was coming into our family. Now, the last thing I'm going to speak about, Lucas, is advice. Marriage advice. This here is the Bible. Okay? It is great to have. It is the rules of marriage for a man. Now, in this book, what you should do is before doing anything, you open up this book and you take a look at the section of maybe what's going to happen. Now, ladies, men, we are pretty simple. We are simple individuals. We got tricked with an apple a long time ago. A long time ago. That's all it took was an apple. So a scenario for you, son. So you've worked 3 days in a row, afternoon shifts. Your wife is working in the days. You are like 2 ocean liners crossing paths. You never see each other. On the 4th day, your day off, which you should spend with Mel, you have an outing with the boys. But you haven't told Mel. Now, you should go immediately to the book to determine how you approach this. But you don't, because you're simple. So you come home and you say, hey, I'm going out with the boys tonight. And what do you get? Now you can get 2 answers. One will be, sure, go right ahead. Or you'll get the, sure, go ahead. So what you're supposed to do is go to this book beforehand to see what, there's even tape recordings to listen to the voice to make sure that it's the right one so that you can go out. On that note, I'd like to congratulate both of you on this wonderful day, and I'd like to raise a toast to the bride and the groom.
Merci à vous deux. And now I'd like to ask Becky and Steve, the parents of the bride, to come and share a few words.
Good evening, everyone. For those we haven't met, we did just get introduced this way, but just in case, we are Becky and Steve, Mel's parents, and we're thrilled to be here and to see all of our favorite people. Yeah, this isn't going to work, is it? To see all their favorite people here, many of whom are our favorite people as well, and those that we haven't met yet. I know you're the same type of people. So it really is amazing to see this all come together, and in such a beautiful setting. The weather last time around was a little different. It's been stunning to see this. Anyway, first off, from our perspective, we wanted to acknowledge a few individuals that couldn't be here tonight that would have really loved to have been here tonight. From the judges and Mel's side of the family, we lost Mel's grandmother Joyce, and my dad, Hugh, during the pandemic, and they would have loved to have been here for sure. There's also a bunch of Aussie cousins that are desperately waiting for updates from the whole thing. So they're here all with us in spirit. But on we go. So we were pretty excited to find out that we got the invite for tonight. It was we knew there'd been a lot of planning go into it, and we're very grateful, and even more so that we got more than 2 weeks' notice this time. So we've had a little bit of time to think about things. There's been a little more planning go into this one. Last one was a little simpler, and so we've done our best to execute items 3107 through 3125 on the massive spreadsheet in Mel's head, so that got us entrance through the door, which brings us to item 3415, welcoming Lucas into the family. So, knowing Lucas, never the center of attention, he's likely squirming in his seat, wishing this will be quick and superficial, so the spotlight can be shone somewhere else. But we have this action item. I'm sorry. See, this is normally a pretty simple thing. Nice guy, family happy to have him around, seems good for their daughter, etc., etc. Not us. We've run Lucas through the ringer. We've been checking fit at every angle for the judge's family compatibility. And so, in short, he's been subjected to judge's family training, levels 1 through 4, which Becky will be happy to tell you more about.
Okay. Oh, glasses help, yes. Okay. Lucas, I'm sure you didn't realize this, but you were subjected to levels 1 through 4. Level 4 was advanced training. The first level, level 1, was surviving a cross-country ski outing at night in Gatineau Park, in the dark, skiing into Keogan. Lucas had never been on cross-country skis before. And as we set off, Melanie, being Melanie, left him doing his best Bambi impression in the parking lot. But Lucas persevered. Being Lucas, he was wearing every piece of clothing he owned, which meant he was sweating profusely by the time he figured out how to get out of the parking lot. And he managed to navigate, not entirely vertically, into the cabin and sliding head first down the last hill with a bottle of wine following him. So level 1 was successful. He passed, and he got extra points for style. Next, level 2. We introduced Lucas to Red Pine Camp, which Jenna referred to as a family camp that we have been going to for over 25 years, and Melanie and Megan both worked there as teenagers. Lucas quickly exhibited the behavior of a seasoned camper, entering every tournament, closing the campfire each night, and he won the golf day, of course. He was frequently asked by other campers how long he'd been attending. And when he confessed he was a new camper, no one believed him. So the next level, that was level 2, you passed. Level 3 was this past winter we traveled to Naples, Florida, which Megan alluded to. And we had a week of tennis and fun in the sun. After 4 days, which included dancing at a senior citizen bar, and as Megan mentioned, Lion King karaoke in the Uber, Lucas took Melanie to the airport, sent her back to Ottawa, and he stayed down for the rest of the week. we do like to think that it is because of he wanted more quality time with us. He really wanted to secure that level 3, not because of the hell that was waiting for him back on Parliament Hill in February. But either way, he definitely passed. The last level was the advanced level, Lucas. It was actually an immersion program. He had to travel to Melbourne, Australia, and he didn't understand a word anyone said. He had to meet about 159 judges' cousins. And before we knew it, Lucas, I mean, he's a quick study. He was hanging out with his mates. He was enjoying the Barbie, wearing his new jumper and thongs, and taking in the footy. There was one event that involved Thai food, a monsoon, paper bags. Didn't end well. But, you know, his reaction and his recovery was very tactical. So we had to pass him, and he did do very well there. Suffice us to say, Lucas, you have passed all the levels, and we are very happy.
But there's bonus points. He also comes with a pretty great family, which you've met here tonight, and actually even more bonus points for the turnkey home renovation team that comes with it. A bit of background. A year ago, COVID had kept us at arm's length from the Angeli family for about 18 months. Melanie had talked about how much she enjoyed Sunday dinners at Angeli's, Lorraine's great cooking, and taking Ron's abuse watching football games. We briefly met Ron and Ollie firing witty jabs at each other while working on Mel's basement in her old house. I thought, these are my kind of people. We finally got to sit down with Ron and Lorraine 3 days before the wedding because we thought pretty funny to show up never having met the parents before. And we had a fabulous celebration at that time. Roll the clock ahead to today. Ron, at least, is probably sick of me as he's been creating openings in his schedule, patiently guiding me through a basement reno. It's the only time, though, I look forward to calls from unknown caller. Ron, I have to say this year I'm fresh out of goats for dowry, but I have a couple of sheets of drywall that might be useful for you. Ollie, it's always fun, and your plumbing works top notch, and the time together was a great opportunity to get to know both of you. And Lorraine, we've enjoyed our family celebrations together, and we know you've been supporting from behind the scenes, and I know you'll believe it only when you hear it, but you really have given us a renewed interest in improving our French as a retirement project. So we're working on that. But the bottom line is we're really thrilled to have the Angelis as part of our extended family now. Okay, so I have to go back to Lucas now and then we'll wind this up. But the bottom line is, in that Lucas kind of way, you've seamlessly integrated yourself into every corner of our family already, just by being who you are. You've supported us in the early days through some challenging family losses. You've embraced Megan like a sister. You bonded with the Aussies over Australian rules football and bottoms dropping out of paper Thai food takeout bags in the rain. And Becky's family now completely bypass us to talk hockey scores and sports. And finally, to the two of you, here are 3 reasons why we feel so great about this union. Lucas, you are so good for Melanie. We are so proud of her, the beautiful woman she has become, her many accomplishments that Megan talked about, her confidence and determination, her athletics, and how she deals with people and friends and her community. But Mel's a special kind of dynamic moving force field. And it takes a special kind of person to complement it so perfectly. You're the calming yin to her full-on yang. It does help to be trained in anti-terrorism, for sure. Okay, I shouldn't have blended these two lines, but it runs way more naturally and deeply than all of that. You just know what to do. You're like this chameleon that fits in everywhere. So anyway, number one reason, you guys are just so great together. Number two, you share the gift of humor. That will carry you far and diffuse many tricky situations with each other when you have teenagers, and it also helps in dealing with us judges. And third, if you can get a diehard rugby player to put it on hold to take up golf, it really must be love. Welcome to the family. Welcome.
And now, once everyone has found their seat, we will have the bride and groom share a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Mel and I just want to take a couple quick minutes to thank you all for coming this evening, celebrating this important day with us. I made Mel swear that we'll keep this short and sweet, because we all know, she could be up here for a while. We just want to thank everyone for being a part of our big day. You all know this wedding is not necessarily a symbol of the beginning of a new chapter in our lives, as we've been living this new chapter for well over a year. But we wanted to plan this special day to be able to celebrate our love with our favorite people in the world. It means so much that everyone could be here and share the special day with us. We wanted to give a special thank you to those who've traveled from far, far away, from all across Ontario, Quebec. Thank you to everyone who traveled to be here, took the time, booked a hotel room, everything. Especially during these uncertain times, it's tough. Special thank you to Bateman, Jackie, M from the West Coast. J-Seb from London, England, and Karen from Australia. We can't thank you enough for taking the time to be here. It means a lot to us. We also wanted to thank our incredible wedding party for standing by our side on this big day. Ollie, Meg, Luke, Emma, Pat, Jackie, Jeff, Alana, Greg, and Alex. Thanks so much.
Although my parents already did it in part, we also wanted to acknowledge a few of our favorite people who unfortunately could not travel to celebrate with us here today. Bet down in Naples, Florida, and our Australian family, Paul, Julie, Dave, Laura, Mike, Georgia, Maddie, Kels, and Jeff in Melbourne. We wish you could be here with us. We are thinking of you, and we miss you dearly. To Grandpa Hugh, Grandma Jane, Grandma Marilyn, Grandma Mackenzie, et les grands-parents La Chaîne, we wish you could be here with us today, but we know you are looking down on us with lots of love and a big smile and an even bigger glass of red wine, at least for Grandpa Hugh. Another important group of amazing people we absolutely have to thank are our incredible vendors. Today would not have been possible without you. I sincerely apologize for all my late night messages, calls, and panic questions over the last year, but you have made today perfect. To Greyloft and to Scott, thank you for capturing our day beautifully. It has been so fun to get to work with you. To my catering group, thank you for this delicious meal. I think we can all agree it was amazing. To Duo d'Amour and Paul, thank you for creating the perfect musical atmosphere for our big day. Music is so important to us and to my family. To Izzy, Graham, Denis, and Domaine Perrault, you have made this beautiful winery such a special part of our lives for 2 years in a row now. And we are so extremely grateful for your hospitality and for your kindness. And for Merlot, too. I think some of you may have lost some of your meal tonight to him. So cheers to you, Merlot. To my dear Carly Joy Glantz, thank you for all of your help with all of the signs and all the details for today. You are so talented, and we are extremely lucky to have you in our lives. To Taylor and Amy, our incredible wedding planners, thank you. You two truly helped us through every step of this process, and we would not have been able to do this without you. For anybody, and I know there's a lot of my girlfriends at least, for anybody looking to plan a wedding over the next couple of years, Inspired Events, you're the absolute best. Highly recommend. To Drea, Grandma Dri, thank you for the beautiful wedding cake we will cut later this evening. She made it herself, but it looks like a professional, and even took a special little bite out and put a little Addie figurine on it for us. So it just shows how loving and thoughtful you are. So thanks, Dree. To Dunes and M, thank you for spending an entire weekend, not to mention almost ruining your friendship, making our beautiful cornhole boards. If there is a Winnipeg and or Cornwall bean shortage in the upcoming months, we'll know why. And then finally, last but definitely not least, I think we can all appreciate how incredible our lovely Jenna has been as our officiant and our MC. And not to mention impromptu singer performer. She'll be here all night, folks, so don't forget to leave her a tip. Jen, it was a no-brainer for us when we picked out who would be the best option for this important role. Your up-for-anything attitude coupled with your sincere love for the two of us, and of course, your hilarious personality made today so incredible. Thank you. We adore you.
To Becky, Steve, Megan, the entire Judges and Mackenzie family, thank you for integrating me into the family without any hesitation. I love spending time with you guys, whether it's traveling across the world, playing a grueling match of tennis, sliding down a cross-country ski trail on my belly like a penguin. You've made me feel like a part of the family. I promise to keep Mel safe and happy. I'll barbecue all the family meals. And I'll help find some contractors to renovate your basement. Meg, thank you for all your help organizing this special day. I'm so grateful to have a sister like you in my life. Whoops. Thank you to our combined family for all the help in putting this special day together. Mom, Dad, Ollie, Meg, Shelly, Becky, Steve, and Sharon. Thank you for helping us pull off this special day.
And to the Angeli Lashine family, thank you for making me feel so, so special. From the very first Sunday night family dinner back in early 2020, you have made me feel so welcome into the family. Ronnie, even though you roll your eyes at me every 4 seconds, you are the most supportive, caring father-in-law I could have ever imagined. Yes, he's a lot more soft than he lets on. Lorraine, c'est vraiment la meilleure belle-mère que je pourrais jamais imaginer avoir. Merci pour ton amour et ton support constant. Lucas and I are so lucky to have 2 amazing sets of parents, to show us what healthy, balanced, and successful marriages look like. And finally, to Ollie, thank you for keeping life fun and for keeping me in a constant fit of laughter. I thought Ollie was sitting beside me. Sorry, Jeff. Ollie. I can't wait for a lifetime of being sports pals, beer pong teammates, and hopefully soon, fun uncle or drunkle Ollie.
I didn't touch it. To my wife, thank you. Thank you for everything you do for me and for us every day. You're literally the best person ever. You work so hard, you're extremely caring, and you drop anything for the people you love. You've put so much time and effort to make this perfect day what it is, and I can't thank you enough. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me, my best friend, the love of my life. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us, because I know no matter what it is, it's probably going to be super well planned. It'll probably include a half marathon or a workout that I will not do. And a barking dog. But most importantly, whatever it is, we'll crush it together. I love you forever.
Last part, I promise, and then we're done with the speeches for the night. And finally, to my husband, thank you for everything that you do for me, for us, and for our families. I can confidently say that despite your questionable memory, you are my better half. You keep me grounded, balance me out perfectly, and make life so fun and so easy. You are my home, and I cannot wait to start the next chapter of our lives together by starting a family. Hopefully one with complete sets of toes. I love you with my whole heart. Before we continue on with our first dance and really get this party started, we wanted to do one final toast for the evening. Cheers to all of you for making this day so freaking special. Cheers.